What's up, Sherpa Network? Happy holidays and happy new year. I just had to cut off all the off-camera chatter B-roll just so we could get the show actually moving. Let's go. It is the end of 2024, and it is that time of year. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Festivus, Happy Boxing Day, and Happy New Year. We are actually, for Jen, it's already 2025. She is in a whole nother year, a whole nother dimension. So happy. And that's actually super exciting. So we didn't do, I guess this is our holiday show. I was going to say we didn't do our holiday show, but this is it. This is it right here. It is that time of year. Thank you for tuning in today. My name is Jonathan Tenenbaum, a.k.a. JT, a.k.a. Jay On, a.k.a. Sherpa Winfrey, the host and producer of Domain Sherpa, where all roads lead to domains. 2024 has been pretty crazy, to say the least. So this show, we're going to divert a little bit from our typical sort of Domain Sherpa review. It's not exactly a rabbit hole. This is just one of those special holiday episodes that we do, and where we get to bring our friends and family on to do what we do. We'll talk some domains, some not domains. I don't know what's going to happen. It's kind of crazy. I don't know what the end of 2024 is about to bring, but it's our holiday spectacular with an exclamation point, bringing on our Sherpas and talking about different things in the domain space. Like I said, some things related, some things not. So we're in the middle of the grand opening. I'll intro the Sherpas, see what's going on with them, talk about some related things, some unrelated things. We're going to skip the domain game, like I said. Instead, we're going to talk about some topics, see what the Sherpas maybe want to talk about. We've got some conferences coming up. We got some good stuff happening for sure. And then we'll do a little bit of name check and a jet. I actually have a decent sized list today. I think about 20 names because we got a bunch of people on here. And we got grand closing where we'll just chat about anything we haven't already covered. We'll keep it pretty short because so the Sherpas can go and enjoy all the New Year's festivities and all that stuff. Jen's like, what do you mean? These are my festivities.
Yeah.
Happy New
Where
Year.
am I?
Yeah, right? Like the Wonder Woman from Down Under, a.k.a. Melbourne to be wild, a.k.a. Jen, if you have to ask how much it is, you can't afford it because our stuff never goes on sale, a.k.a. Sipping on Gin and Juice, a.k.a. Generous. I don't know why I have that one on the list. I don't even know where that one came. Did you just pop one of those champagne poppers?
I don't know if you heard that. It sounded like an explosion in my house. Oh, well.
No, you know what? We didn't hear it. So, Billy, when you go into post-production, you got to throw an explosion on that. You know what I'm saying? So let's make that happen. All right, let's keep going. Let me go around the horn. I'm going to do all the intros, and then we'll just get into it. So,
I've got more time to hydrate and stretch for tonight. So
there you go. I like it. You got it. Preparation is key. All right, continuing around the horn, we got my boy Shane Culture, aka Sugar Shane, aka Honey Shane, aka Mike Bro, aka Blame It on the Shane, aka House of Shane, aka the Blue Oyster Culture, aka the Culture Personality, aka the Culture Club, aka Doing It for the Culture, aka Shane in the Main Brain, and aka Shane in the Blockchain. I'm actually reading off the list. You wouldn't know that. You think I'm already like doing my New Year's stuff. What's up, man? Dick Clark in the background with his Rockin' Eve. 100%. And I think I can see it from here. I think it says, "Hey Shane, go fuck yourself, Dick Clark." Yeah, that's pretty cool that he did that for you.
Well, he did that, and he's dead now. So that's what happened.
So who gets the last laugh, huh, Dick?
I'm all on Anderson Cooper.
Oh, no. All right. Hey, man. All good.
I moved over to Anderson Cooper. That's how old I am. I watch Anderson Cooper on New Year's make little like snarky jokes, and that's the highlight of my evening.
We've entered into that phase of the programming and of our lives. Is that
Anderson Cooper is so funny. Yeah, no, exactly.
Isn't he? Did you see what he just did? Did you hear what he just said? You know what I mean? Like, it's like we've got to go.
Well, you got to go to the real one. Like, we get to decide. When it's Braden even more, you get to decide. I'll just do the Eastern, like New Year's. That'll be good. If I make it till 11 o'clock,
that's good.
Then,
I'm doing the Australia.
I'll do the Eastern one or the Central. Let's go and do the Mountain one. Like he gets 40.
I'm doing them all
New Year.
I celebrated with Jen when she had New Year's, so I'm doing them all.
That's it. Every time it's like Braden is your New Year's like shotgun partner. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's gonna knock them all. Like you got to do X amount of shots. I know you don't drink really, but like doing X amount of shots on like every New Year's that come, hour by hour. I think it's actually
Hawaii gets to do it like 40 times.
Yeah, that's
it's like every hour per day.
That's it. I love it. Well, how many time zones are there total? Does anybody know that?
World?
One piece of trivia offhand?
I have no idea.
I can ask chat.
Let's do it.
I know I have meetings on 5 zones. That's
how many
like I consider 5 major.
There are 24 regions, 24 time zones, which I guess makes sense. There's 24 hours in the day, right? I mean,
yeah. Considering the way the Earth moves, yeah, kind of.
I'm telling you, I'm getting dumber as I get older. I forget things now. You know, we just did an escape room with my kids, and I'm like just basic stuff. Like it just gets tough. It gets tougher as you get older.
There's 6 of us. We're all like, I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, your guess is as good as mine. All right, let's spin down way at the bottom, but not at the bottom. We got the one and only making his annual appearance on the show. We got William Billy Tenenbaum, aka Billy the Kid, aka Willie Wiskins, aka Mr. Editor, like editor. You know what I'm saying? aka Captain Cut It. I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? I probably should have had some better ones for you, but you know, you were.
That's an annual tradition that you don't.
There you go. That's it. That should be the thing. It's like when you're on the show, it's like no way. You're like the only one with no AK. Anyway, what's up, dude? Appreciate all the help as always. If nothing else, I love having you on the show just to say thank you. I mean, I see you all the time, but to be able to say thank you publicly for all the hard work and just dealing with all the nonsense that we put you through.
A lot of nonsense. Whole lot of nonsense.
It is a whole lot, but Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all the Sherpas out there that are not on this episode.
Oh, okay. You know, we're not hyping them up too much because they're not here. You know what I'm saying? So if they couldn't be here, it's like
I got love for all our Sherpas.
Oh, love for all the Sherpas. That's good. Peace and love and for the Sherpas into the new year. I dig it. All right, and last but certainly not
least. Which one would you eat first?
Oh yeah, seriously. And why I don't know why I keep getting picked in that. It's a little unsettling.
I pick you out of non-domain investors I would eat. Like when people ask me just people in general, like I don't even narrow it down to domain investors you'd eat first. I just like you, like
not even about Sherpas.
It's not Sherpas. It's just like,
these are conversations I have with the guy, the lady checking me out at the grocery store. You know, like
you're on my dine list, like the Donner Pass. Like you are my Donner guy.
Oh man, that's love right there. I think. or not. I don't know what that is. But thanks, Jen, for starting that trend. That was great. It's weird enough having to answer it on the show. You know what I mean? And then I'm watching and I'm like, wait, no, they're not going to say me. But it's all right.
It's okay. Some people have chosen me as well. It's fine. Like, at least you wanted.
There you go. Is it better for people to say, hey, I would eat that guy, or you be ignored? You know what I'm saying? It's like there's a Key and Peele episode. Yeah. Where it's a zombie apocalypse, right? And I think it's and they're like, all right, we got to get to the police station. We just got to get through this crowd of zombies and just don't get bit. And they start going, and none of the zombies are approaching them to the point that they just start walking. And they're like, you know, and then they're like, hello, and they're just ignoring them. And then they come up on two older zombies in a car, and as they approach, you know, they lock the door real quick and they're like, yo, that's some bullshit. These are some racist ass zombies. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to eat me? What are you talking about? You know, it's like, I actually literally just saw that on Instagram. So I was going to go Christmas sweater today. I thought I'd keep it green. You know, I go with the Eagles. They're playing some good football. We got the playoffs coming up. Need my man Jalen Hurts to get healthy and get back after it. But you know,
here, I got one question. Is Saquon going to play in the last game and go after the number? Or are they going to...
Did they announce it officially, or you're just saying that, Billy?
I'm just saying, like, to me, there's a big dilemma in life. Do you set an all-time record that's really hard to achieve, or do you be part of the team and rest up and get ready for the playoffs?
Yeah, so...
To me, why they will not play him is as soon as he hit the 2,000 mark, they pulled him. They didn't let him go for any more extra yardage in that game.
I mean, he ran for 160 already, you know what I'm saying? And it was, you know,
if they really want him to go for the record, you don't pull him.
Yep. So young people, well, let's not go into details. We'll talk domains, but young people watch the game and you will figure out the difference between team and individual on the
you know, so here's my thing about this, and I think we can talk about it for 30 seconds because whatever, this is the holiday show and we're going to talk whatever we want. Drew's not on here because if he was on here, he'd be like freaking out and, you know, telling us to stop talking. But for people who don't know, what's that?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
all right.
No idea.
So real quick, for those of you at home,
like another language to me.
I'm gonna give you the 15 seconds, and we're gonna talk about it for 30. Oh, you're wearing the Cowboys hat. That's what you're doing. I get it. So, well, who won the game last weekend? You know. So, anyway, we're talking about American football. So, And the Cowboys talk so much smack. I'm sorry. It's just the one thing where
7 seconds, 6 seconds.
All right, fine. So American football, Philadelphia Eagles, their running back Saquon Barkley just is within sort of striking distance of the all-time single season rushing record. He needs 100 yards in the next game, which is not easy, but it's definitely doable. He's been playing awesome. It's his first year with the Eagles, and it's like super special if he can get this record. But the Eagles have already clinched their spot in the playoffs. So this game that they're about to play, the last game of the season coming up, is irrelevant for the purposes of winning a championship. So it's just a matter of, hey, we want to get and really when teams get to this point, they're usually resting their best players because they would rather not risk injury, go into the playoffs healthy, give their team the best chance to win a championship. So now this record and all this stuff, I mean, if it's me, I don't play him because I am literally, I'm hyper focused on winning a championship and it's more about the team than it's about the individual. But knowing that it matters as much as it does, I think it's a conversation that has to be had with the coach, with the team owner, with obviously the player, maybe his agent. And, and I think
missing one important part in all this.
Offensive
line.
line.
8 men that stand in front of them that could
get
the hurt,
offensive line
that are like $20 million in.
Yeah, they're all yeah, they make $20 million a year each themselves. I think the players would be like, let's do it, dude. Like, let's go.
It would be a badge of honor for the offensive line too.
But I think that if he gets hurt, imagine the second guessing, and the team's not the same without him. So I don't know. I would kind of, like I said, this would be a conversation around the room, see what he says. And if I'm a coach, I'm saying, what do you want to do, dude? And I think he will probably say, look, I'm good. Let's just, let's get ready to roll. But then they go in and they lose in the first game of the playoffs, which is very possible. Then it's like, ugh, did you make the mistake? And, so
no,
I don't know.
Plus the QB's already banged up.
Yeah. So you think he doesn't play? Is that what we're thinking?
99.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's playing it all.
All right.
Yep.
So I think that's the right answer.
Is excited. Derek Dickerson is the guy who owns it, and they asked him, "Do you want him to break the record?" And he's like, "Fuck no, I don't want him to break the record."
Hell no, he's not gonna break it, and I don't want him to. Yeah,
okay,
you guys, you're killing my buzz and you're killing Jen's buzz.
All right, fine. Jen's an Eagles fan. What do you mean? Didn't you see my 10 with Jen? You know what I'm saying? Jen is an Eagles fan. This is her squad.
Agles, go Eagles. That's all I got out of it.
But real quick, I think you make a really good point, Shane, and we saw some benefits in our own business. I think everybody could use just, housekeeping, right? We tried it when things get slow. That's some of what we use that time for. Hey, should slow down a bit. Let's tighten up our pricing. Let's make sure all of our stuff is where it needs to be. Without a doubt, when you have, hundreds, if not thousands of domain names, pricing them properly, making sure all of them are priced, making sure that all the pages are actually working, that there's not some weird glitch going on with your landers or whatever it might be. I think is huge. We saw some of the same thing where just by getting our shit together and just not being as sort of sloppy or lazy, that was definitely helpful. So I think that's just good advice for everybody going into the new year. It's like just
there's so much information there now. Even Afternic added some of the old pending sales. I throw a couple on traffic just to see what kind of traffic numbers I'm getting. There's some that I moved to parking and generated an extra $120 a month that I didn't have and did a double lander. I would say 100 names where the lander was on the wrong kind of Afternic lander that I didn't have organized properly. Like I wanted on a certain type, and it was sitting on the make offer where they have to go through a whole thing and fill out the information, go to a GoDaddy broker and go through that process. Some of them, maybe I don't want to do that. So there's just so much there, and it does take some time to do. And you get, like, every time we buy domains, we're buying domains daily. You get the price in. You just have to, and a lot of us aren't full-time people, so it's not like we have all day. We've got to work that into our schedule. So it's an important part, and I guarantee it will lead to more sales. 100% guarantee housekeeping will lead to more sales in the long term.
And that's great advice.
And information you get.
Well, you realize like data and that, and the flow of, it's an art and a science. We say this all the time about domains, right? It's an art and a science, right? So the more data that you have that's relevant, and this kind of goes to what you were saying, Jen, is that, finding the right data points is not easy. If you can, then there are definitely things that you can do that can help to lead to more sales for sure.
Data is so important. And if people are willing to give great information, don't dismiss it. Like nobody's smarter than anybody else. We might be better at certain things, but nobody's better than the person that has all that information. They're the smartest people in the room. When you have hundreds of thousands of sales and you've changed pricing and you've watched pricing change and you've seen how it's affected and what sells, you can never beat that. You can't beat that. There's no gut, as we talk about on, I think, who was it, Josh and I don't know. We were talking about gut pricing versus data. And sometimes you can't beat data. Sometimes you can, but not often.
Braden.
I think another thing is like language evolves. And so we could have domains in our portfolio that we've had for 10 years, and it has a whole different meaning now than it did when we registered it. And there's a name that I'm selling right now. I've already got a deposit that has literally a whole new meaning today. I'll talk about it when the sale's done, but it has a whole new meaning today than it did when I bought it, which was early this year.
Yeah,
right?
that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I know what it is.
Name.
And
it's a whole new meaning, right? So, which gave it a whole new value.
It's awesome.
So, that's the trends you have to look for.
Or if like you're in my kids' world, all of a sudden skibbityriz.com is, when all that bullshit, like the way these kids talk or whatever, it's like all of a sudden that stuff, like words that aren't even words now have like, or new brands and businesses, and, coming to.
JT, have you heard this one? My youngest said to me the other day, "I like your drip, Mom."
Oh,
and
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
What?
That's good. That's a compliment. You know what I'm saying? He's like, "I like your drip." Like, well, thank you. You're like, "I think yours is mid, son."
Yeah, mid.
It's my best year yet.
So would you attribute that, Braden, to the fact, kind of to Josh's point, a couple of years ago, you had a year or two where you were buying, you got heavier on the buy side, and now you're seeing the sort of reaping the rewards of that, having picked and bought good names at good prices. And
so I changed up my strategy in that I let a lot of, I had that old legal portfolio, all my legal names. I let a lot of those go. I liquidated a ton of them. I have like my 500 left or something, from a high of like 15,000. And now my total portfolio is like 1,600, something like that.
Oh, wow.
So it's much, much smaller, but I've spent, millions building this portfolio, buying really good names. And so, this year I'm pushing about 7 million in sales this year. So it'll be slightly under because I'll book a couple for after since this stays 31st, I'll book some of them for tomorrow. For tomorrow.
Yeah, you won't accept that cash just yet.
So the thing is that the legal names just don't sell that fast, and so I just switched up my strategy to buy higher end premium names and just stuff that'll turn better. We just had a name sell literally 10 minutes ago. While we were talking, small name, but I'm just seeing a much better sell-through rate, and a lot of names that I'm selling, I've purchased over the last 3 years.
Getting your premium.com is becoming more important. I think it's actually less important than what it was, but that doesn't mean that they're less valuable, right? They can be less important and more valuable. Those things don't have to be parallel. So I think generally the value of your online presence is going up. So premium.com pricing also goes up, but the rest of the domain world pricing is also going up. So it's not just premium.coms. It's like obviously premium.ai's, premium.io's, premium. Just about any good SLD in a decent TLD will sell relatively well. So like the way that I look at it is like, in my lifetime, is .com going to continue to be the most, is it going to continue to be completely dominant? I don't really know. Probably not. I kind of see it as probably not. I think that other extensions are taking some of that pie. But like I said, at the same time, that doesn't necessarily mean that .com values go down. I think that because they're scarce and because a certain amount of companies are going to continue to find them extremely valuable, the price continues to go up. So I think that you can be well diversified into multiple different TLDs and continue to find success for the foreseeable future. That's the way that I see it.
Yeah, because I would agree with you. I think it does speak to sort of the overall value, kind of the internet to begin with, and I agree. .ai is being valuable. These names that are sold, shows the value of the internet, and your internet presence is sort of the leading piece of all of that. Who is the .love registry? Do you guys know offhand? I was trying to figure that out while you were talking, and I can't.
No idea. Like, so yeah, like, I mean, the .ai, the .ai love right now, all of the love for .ai is not because of the domain, not because of the TLD. It's because of the industry and how excited everyone is around AI.
It's doing what they always wanted the TLDs to do, and that's define the business that carries it, right? So if you're on AI, you're saying, look at me, I'm an AI company. And right now you couldn't be any hotter than being an AI company. So
right,
that's what they're using it for. I explained it and kind of dumbed it down. Kind of what Josh says is there's a lot of .coms that are in use and never going to be for sale. There's the same amount of people or more building businesses every year. They're just not going to get the .com. So the same amount of people are buying domains. So all those where they were going to go .com, they can't afford, they're going to move somewhere else. The SLDs are the most important. And now they're just going to find a new home. What that new home is, we're all trying to guess what the hottest one is. It going to be this or that or .love? We don't know, but we do know the SLDs or the keywords will probably be the most important. So that's how we play it as domain investors. We always start with the keyword, and then we look for a TLD that complements it. And that's a big, big open world. And there's a lot of choices. And that's what our decisions are on a daily basis now. We don't have to make decisions on com. Our decision is that a good value of a buy, and can we sell it for that purchase? After that, we spend a lot of time deciding on, is this TLD in the sea of TLDs combined with this keyword worth having and selling? That's what our new decisions are. There's a lot more decisions to be made. And that's where good conversation and good information comes, looking at the sales and catching trends of what's hot. Behind the scenes, we talk about it daily. Hey, I've had really good success sharing. I've sold 20 of these SLDs. Here's what I've sold them for. Here's how much renewals are. Renewals are a huge part, right? Renewals now on these other TLDs are $50, $30. You can't play the numbers game like you did in the past. So there's a lot of decisions to be made, but the keywords are always where we start and then move from there. They are an XYZ, right? Those are probably the 4 we put through on every one right out of the gate, and then we add more accordingly. Would you agree with that, Josh, Braden, Co, XYZ, IO, Com?
Yeah,
not in that order, but
no, not in that order. Net, especially Braden.
Net and org. Like, for me, there's the key ones that I buy is IO, Co, AI, org, net, XYZ.
And I was going to say AI is in the conversation. I mean, we see it now.
That was my fault. AI is definitely there.
That's my point, right? I think AI is taking a bigger piece of the conversation, continues to chug along in a real positive way, which I think is really, really interesting and pretty cool. We don't have a ton of AIs. We have a handful in our own portfolio. Again, helping clients on both the sell and buy side for .ai domains, and it's not a super foreign like we have clients that want the .com. We look to see who has it. Hey, the .com is not going to be gettable for less than, maybe a multi 7-figure type of price tag, right? Then it's like, all right, well, what are the other alternatives? Are you choosing a new keyword altogether? If you're married to a certain keyword, now you're looking at different alternate extensions. And the ones that you're looking at, .net is not really, we don't talk a whole lot about .net. We're definitely, AI comes up way more than .net.
I do. AI is going to absolutely crush it for the next couple of years. It's going to crush it, and like this year, I think this year is actually not that big of a year. Next year for AI is going to be much bigger. And like I said, it's nothing to do with the fact that it's nothing to do with like, oh, .ai is a cool, it's just to do with the fact that the AI industry is absolutely booming and it hasn't even hit its peak yet. And you're going to see, and there's just so much money there, right? When you look at the number of companies that are getting funded, I can't remember what percentage of them are AI, but it's like 9 out of 10. It's like ridiculous.
One third of all VC funding in 24 went to AI companies.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's significant.
That's significant. You're gonna see lots of big sales. I would assume that you'll probably see a 7-figure .ai sale next year.
All right, so there we go. We've got a prediction for 2025. We've got a prediction, a 7-figure .ai sale happening in 2025. Called it right here on Domain
There's probably
Sherpa.
been a .ai 7-figure sale. We just don't know about it.
That's a fair point. Yeah.
Probably. I was talking to a guy whose company's called Spinach, and he wanted spinach.com, which is mine, and he wanted to spend, and I have a price at like high 6 figures, and he must spend that, and he bought spinach.ai.
It brings in more viewers. I don't care. That's fine.
Hey, well, I will say that, so look, and this is, 2024 was also a very good year for Domain Sherpa, largely in part to, the work that Billy has done in continuing to really push it. A lot of help from a lot of the folks. Jen has always been a huge, huge help with a lot of stuff on the show. We continue to increase our numbers, our viewer numbers, like every show. I mean, we get thousands of views and watches, and so we've got so much love for the audience and for all the people who help continuing to serve our audience by providing good content, entertainment. We're always trying to educate and entertain, and it's and you guys being on the show, providing this kind of content, helping the space, and all the work that goes on behind the scenes, Billy and team, and it's pretty awesome. So thank you to all of you for being on the show. Obviously, Billy, thank you so much. Jen, thank you so much. Always, always, always. So anyway, not to get too far down that whole, the rabbit
I'm gonna
hole.
do it again. I'm gonna do it again since no one else is doing it. Jonathan, I think we all should credit where credit's due, because I think this gig is pretty difficult now that I've had my own little taste of it. So massive respect for you guys showing up every single week and doing this. It's like if people really knew all of the effort and time that goes into scheduling and editing and publishing and promoting, and people may be like, oh, it's just a community podcast, but there's a lot of time and effort that goes into it, and I know that you spearhead that, and you've already got so much on your plate. So I think we all need to do a JT appreciation clap.
Oh, go ahead, come on, go ahead, I'll take it. No, but I appreciate that, and again, it would not be possible though if you guys weren't always willing to jump on and help us with this and be part of this and provide the kind of content that gets people to tune in. And people really invested; they really like it, and as they should, because it's I think we genuinely all like each other. You guys are a lot of expertise, a lot of success here that you're willing to share, sometimes even at our own detriment, which I always find super interesting. But it's all part of it. So anyway, all good stuff. A lot of gratitude. A lot of appreciation. So
up the stats as Josh did, and the stats are not that good. So the net and the org are both for sale for $8,000 each. The IO for $7,000. When the net and when the ComNet and org aren't in use, I mean, that just shows that from a legacy perspective, it's just not a popular keyword.
Yep. And I'll have to disclose, I only was talking it up because I work for NameJet, and they told me to make it.
No, man. I mean, hey, I think this is a really great discussion on this one name. That's why I'm glad we dug in.
When the net and the org aren't developed, right? So we're now not talking about all the new GTLDs and the CCTLDs, but we're talking about going back 30 years, 35 years, where companies weren't interested in that term, right? So there's not a lot of companies. There's a few hundred companies with that in their name, but if the ComNet and org are undeveloped, that means for years nobody really cared. So even the new Gs don't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the IOs for sale for $7,000, and then the others aren't developed at all. So it's just not a good term. On its face, it looks like a great word, but for whatever
this
reason,
goes back to the whole thing Shane said before when we talk about domain values into the future and how left of the dot, obviously is going to drive the ship for a lot of deals and domains. The right of the dot has to correlate, obviously com being the best, but then for these other alternatives. But if nobody cares, then it's like, yeah, I think you're right. I think there might be a little bit more flash here than, and it was, but again, I think it stands out because it's such a great name in a collection of names that aren't always that great, which is,
and that's how I spend too much at auction right there. You just witness it. I get excited. You got to step back and look at the information. We talked about, we talked privately the other day about a name, and I was like, every single TLD is for sale. And they said, it's still a great name. And I said, it is still a great name. It's just not as great a name as everything else was taken. And this was your last choice.
Well, that's what I actually said. How many GTLDs is a domain taken in is one of those stats that we try to leverage when we're pricing or valuing or evaluating domains. I mean, that's one of those things that is an actual data point that you can use, to pull into, and we do with some of the tooling that we have to try to figure out how, what the demand for a domain looks like.
But a lot of people look at how many TLDs the name is registered in and stop there, and that's just not good. So Crusader's registered in everything, right? I haven't looked it up, but I'm sure there's a ton, but they're not developed, right? Yeah. So what good is it if you've got if everything's registered but no company is developed? If no company's developed it, that means that it's just a bunch of investors that think it's a good name, but no company wants to use that in their name, number one. And there's no company that is going to upgrade to that name.
Yeah.
Right.
That's good points.
So those are bad data points. It's not good that a whole bunch of investors have registered it. Or the other thing is you could have, the name registered in 50 or 70 TLDs and it's all owned by one person, one company.
Yeah.
And if that company doesn't want your name, they're out. Then who's going to buy it? Nobody. Yep. So it's just one data point, but you have to dig down a little bit more and look at what's actually happening with those names, not just that they're registered.
To better understand that space. I don't mind. I don't know how you would pronounce it. Is it Huba, HUBA.com? I just had a quick look. That one's got, they've got their Instagram's got over 100,000 followers. The first result on Google, they don't go by that. They've got I don't know what they were called. But that one seems okay. I don't know if this is going to be a controversial one that you want to talk about or not, this topic. But I'd be interested to know what you guys think either way, if you want to keep it in or not. I don't really like island girls. The reason why I don't like that, I avoid girls and boys or girl or boy names unless they're singular, because you kind of do get into some murky waters with those types of names that I've experienced in the past.
Yeah, well, it's funny because the island girls thing, I thought that too. I'm like, oh, it's borderline risque, I guess, But then you also have the island boys. Remember those guys?
Right, yeah,
island boy.
Yeah.
Trying to, those guys who turned out to be pretty.
Yeah, but
amazing.
who do you think's searching for island girls on the internet? Jonathan, what do you think they're looking
island
for?
Boys, you know what I'm saying?
Braden, put your hand down.
You know what I'm saying? It's no, I'm with you. That one's a little bit but I mean, yes, I guess it's
an island girl, right?
Officially.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I do live on an island, and yes, I am a girl. But
just an island girl trying to make it.
Stop.
Josh, is there anything else on the list that's worth thinking about talking about?
I'll give you another trick that has never been talked about before, but but is useful.
Sitting up.
So when you're trying to assess an SLD like Crusader, another thing that you can do is put get in front of it or go in front of it, and if it is available to hand register, that is a red flag. That is a big red flag. Mm-hmm. And if you look at your best domains, doesn't matter if it's Cluck or Pineapple or whatever it might be, I guarantee you that get X or go X, they're taken. They're at least taken. And if you look at Crusader and look at Go Crusader, Get Crusader, available for hand registration.
Ooh.
And it's because there's not enough demand for that SLD. So there's a little hint.
I love it, man. That's the alpha right there. That's the alpha coming to you just in time for you to kill it in 2025, everybody. Credit to Josh. Thank you for that.
Anyway, domain standpoint.
Okay.
So, but yeah.
You think there's still value in iNames, iPop?
Yeah, I think there's value in iPop. I mean, it's just a good VCVC as well. There's, just do like a little bit of research. You can see that it's not for sale in any of the major extensions, which is nice. But at the same time, it is taken in 100 TLDs. So that's like already pretty solid. You type in iPop into Google and you can see there's a pretty like decent amount and wide variety of end users. So like, do I like love it? Would I spend 20 grand on it? No, but if you can get it for, under 10, I think it's a decent buy.
Yeah, and I think here's the deal about iPop, which I think is interesting. When you Google it and you realize that it also can stand for inpatient, outpatient, right? Like there's other things well beyond the whole I, and the fact that it's a 4-character, which are just killing it. I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff with that. Plus, you've got, there's a pop industry entertainment piece to it. There's also a soda thing, with all the new sodas that are coming out. There's all these like alternative versions of, Coke that, healthy, prebiotic, this and that, no low sugar, this, so I think that on
the first page of Google, I get a company called iPop.fun. It's
pickleball.
Inclusive place of pickleball.
Inclusive place of pickleball. That might be your joint, dude. Where is it at? Where's the nearest one? iPop.fun, baby. You know what I'm saying? They're about to upgrade. Let's go.
They were using pump.fun and they were like, we like this. We like this TLD.
Yeah, exactly right. Oh, no, yeah, there's a whole lot of different stuff. So I think that's an interesting one for sure. And but yeah, and look, I think another theme through the whole thing is you mentioned now, Josh, is saying that hey, you put all these in your portfolio for the right price. And yeah, Happy New Year, man. Congratulations on a great 2024. Excited for 2025 for sure. Shane.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I've got big things coming in 25. I formed botany.com. I took the domain name and made it into a company, and I'm going to the Chelsea Garden Show. I'm going to, like, all January, I'll be going to garden shows across the nation. I'll be going to ICA in Vegas. I'm coming in a little late because I'm also going to Dominion with D3, going to talk a little blockchain and DomainFi there. Yeah, I have just as much travel this year, but I'm going to see the bulbs. Like I'm doing all the plant things and talking about plants I've always wanted to go see the bulbs in the Netherlands when they're in full bloom, I'm just literally traveling the world to see plants and flowers that I didn't get to do. I was always selling you them and going to talk about it on social media, just have some fun with it. Doing more. I got a PBS show I'm working with them on too. So being a correspondent for PBS Garden. So awesome. I'm going to continue doing the plant stuff more actively. I got to get my cadence back though. Like I'm so used to being slow. And so I've got to get my voice back when it comes to gardening. But yeah, 25 is going to be domains and flowers for me. And hopefully I can do something. It's going to take a while to build that company, but I'm going to China to go see all the products too. That's the other thing. I had no idea there was a 4-week show of companies that just lay their stuff out for everybody to look at and build. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. But yeah, it's going to be exciting and busy. It's going to be fun.
So. You say that show is 4 weeks?
4 weeks, 2 weeks to like electronics and 2 weeks to home goods. And there's like 100 million products out. And you think that your stuff's not made there, but it's all made there. It may have American name, like the point of origin. Matter of fact, I met a company that changes, that's a middleman. So the point of origin, when you go to Shopify and all these other people, you don't see what the true point of origin of all your product is. So, but anyway, that's for another that's for another thing. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm ready to get my green thumb, and I'm ready to sell a shit ton of domains and have a fun, exciting time. This is all about having fun and making stories, right? That's what it's all about.
I love it, man. Well, the green thumb in domains, the green is for cash. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
right.
it's the you want to have that continued green thumb. I love it. All right, Billy, what about you, man?
Also excited about ICA. I'll be out there representing Domain Sherpa and Media Options, helping them out the AV once again. So looking forward to seeing all y'all in Las Vegas. Outside of that, just plugging away like normal. 2025.
Let's get it. All right, cool.